So lovely to meet you, Lesley, and thank you very much for coming to the exhibition.
Oh, I wouldn't miss it for anything.
It's been a bit of passion, power and politics actually to create it after 5 years, so
Okay.
it would be great to know what you thought of it and what was your favourite moment in the exhibition.
I thought the whole thing was amazing. I thought the way it linked all the most important turning points in opera through the various cities in Europe that had, if you like, been the centres of excellence for that moment in history. Because, you know, often when I perform one role, say a Mozart role, and you're thinking of Vienna, and then I might perform a Verdi role, and you're thinking of Italy and Rome, but you don't get the link between that. You don't get the link particularly between, say, Verdi and Wagner, who was busy doing a very similar thing in that he was celebrating the nationalism of his country, but not actually in his country, in Paris. I didn't know that. That was amazing. But for me, I think the highlights were it's hard to pick, isn't it? But I absolutely love the Baroque theatre. I mean, within the exhibition, there is a real live working Baroque theatre, like you might find in Drottningham or somewhere, with the wooden seashore, the wooden waves going, and the boats going across. And I just was blown away by that, to say that was, that's 400 years old, the technology for that. But then at the other end of the scale, something that made my heart sing was to see Peter Grimes on the beach, because I was actually there when they filmed that. And as an audience member, and when Opera North and Aldeburgh Festival took that absolutely iconic piece of writing, Peter Grimes by Britain, and put it exactly where it was conceived and written, with the sea, which infuses every bar of that music, as a backdrop, God's own backdrop. I mean, how amazing was that? And to be able to share that, I thought was absolutely extraordinary.
Well, that's great to hear, because what we set out to do was show opera in its social, political, cultural context.
That was actually the most exciting thing about it, because those of us who perform it are very aware of the passion and the power and the politics. And it's great that you can make that available to a wider audience, so they can see why opera just blows you away, why it's the most powerful live art form there is. Because we perform without microphones. In the orchestra pit, you might have 60, 70 players on stage. You'd have a choir, of a chorus of 40, 50 members, and then powerful soloists to top all of that. And the excitement, you can hear it in my voice, of just considering that as an art form is amazing. But I mean, it was 400 years ago that the five great art forms came together. We had drama, we had dance, we had music, we had painting, of course, and poetry. And all these five extraordinary individual art forms came together to make what is arguably, I think, the very first audiovisual art form.
Yeah.
And that's for me why opera is so contemporary, because our world today is all about that. And that's what this extraordinary exhibition celebrates. It's the best exhibition I've ever been to.
Thank you, Lesley. That's really great to hear. Very exciting. And I think one of the other things is about how those themes of the opera that are drawn out in their context are still so relevant today.
Absolutely. That's the most exciting thing. I mean, just look, for instance, at Mozart in Vienna when he was writing The Marriage of Figaro, which at the time was really thought to be subversive and anti-royal. And the basic story in Marriage of Figaro, it explores the droit de seigneur, which was the right of the powerful person in the community to sleep with any woman he liked. I mean, it's basically sexual harassment in the workplace. You can't really get much more topical than that at the moment, can you? So this is what I love about opera. It has always, for me, has relevance to today's society. And the great passions that we all experience, those of kind of love and hate and revenge and sadness, these are the same passions, the same emotions that were experienced by people forever, let alone for only 400 years ago. And that's what opera can personify and deliver in a way that no other art form can. Because I think it's because everybody can speak, everybody can actually sing, so everybody can relate to what we're doing firsthand. I learnt opera round the piano as a kid, and it was part of our community. It was part of growing up for me, together with brass bands and choral societies. We just all sang all the time, and for me, I've always had this sense that the opera came from the people and belongs to the people. And that's what this exhibition celebrates. It's fantastic.
Thank you.